All right, today we're going to talk about the 13 English colonies. Now, before we start talking about the colonies, let's get a definition. A colony is a region or area under political control of another country and occupied by settlers of that country. Now, don't forget, we talked about reasons for colonization before and why countries began to colonize. And now we're going to start to focus on England and its colonies, which of course will eventually become our country, the United States. Now let's talk about Jamestown. Jamestown is the first permanent English settlement. It was founded in 1607. Don't forget that because this is a date, you want to be sure you highlight that in yellow on your BOK. Now, Jamestown was first settled by 500 plus settlers. These were all people that came to the New World in search of the things that we've talked about before, the 3 G's: God, glory, gold. And so they came looking for these things. Now they were very unprepared. In fact, after a while, John Rolfe, another explorer, came to the New World, to Jamestown, and he found that because of their poor leadership and poor lack of resources that they brought, only 60 settlers were there when he came out of the 500. So you can see that poor leadership had a big toll on the settlers there. Now, John Rolfe eventually whipped these colonists into shape. He showed them how to plant. He showed them how to live in the conditions that they were in. And one of the things that he brought with him to help make Jamestown very prestigious, very successful, was tobacco. You know, tobacco was used to make cigarettes and pipe tobacco, and the English were very addicted to smoking. And so after that first harvest, he made what would be the equivalent today of $1 million plus. So tobacco was a very prestigious, very lucrative, very money-making, if we could say, crop. That's why we call tobacco a cash crop, because it's grown specifically for making money. Now, John Rolfe would eventually marry Pocahontas. Now, we're not talking about Pocahontas of the Disney fame. This is no Disney movie. But Pocahontas was the chief's daughter. And this was very good relationship for the colonists because it lessened tension between the Native Americans and the colonists there in Jamestown. Now then, John Rolfe and Pocahontas would return to England and promote it big time. You know, again, they had already made $1 million plus with the tobacco, and they came back and kind of painted Jamestown as what they called the land of plenty. And they promoted it as a place where simply if they had people come and got some investors, it could become a boom town. You know, a boom town being a town where after it's initially set up and the economy there gets going, the boom is the sudden explosion of the economic activity in that place. Tobacco being one, and other crops. And because of this, Jamestown flourishes. Now let's talk about a different colony. With the success of Jamestown, of course, word spreads, and so other colonists, other people in England, they want to go because they want to do all those things, again, that we talked about, the 3 G's, God, so promote religion. Again, they're searching for religious freedom. If you remember, you had to be an Anglican in England, and the king ran the church, and if you did not agree with the king, you could be punished. And so many people left for religious reasons. Some people for glory. They wanted their name. They wanted to be famous. And then some, of course, again, were just looking for riches. And so Plymouth becomes our next major town. Of course, you all know the story you've heard from childhood. The Mayflower lands at Plymouth. And before they even get off of the boat, they create what will be known as the first form of self-government, known as the Mayflower Compact. Now, the Mayflower Compact is a very important document in our history, because it's one where the men, the people on the boat, sorry ladies, the men decide that they're going to make decisions and laws together. And they sign this compact in 1620. Again, here's another date. Be sure that you highlight it in yellow. So the men sign it and agree to make decisions and laws together, and we call this majority rules. And again, this would become a very important concept in our government.